I want to thank one of the subscribers to my YouTube channel for bringing to my attention that one of my videos had an audio track that was essentially only coming out of one speaker. And this brings to mind the broader question of the fact that over the course of years that I've been doing these videos, I've really had a steep learning curve as far as figuring out how to create better audio. Early on, I had a lower quality camera and only used the microphone from the camera. Later, I got a better camera and the microphone for that was better, but still quite poor. I then got a shotgun mic to stick on top of the camera, and that's actually what you're hearing right now. Although for my recitations, I had the mic closer to my mouth. But, more recently, I have purchased a condenser microphone that I'm using for the recitations that produces quite good quality. But the fact that this particular video was only coming through with audio on one channel created certainly some angst in me, and I went back and reviewed some other videos within that same playlist and discovered one other that also had the same flaw. So I want to apologize generally for the poorer audio on some of my YouTube uploads, but also in a sense of positive expectation and anticipation for the future, to know that at least the recitations that I'm doing, where I basically have a picture or pictures on the screen rather than my face, that the quality of those particular audio recitations or commentaries should be quite good. And those are the more recent ones. Now, as far as the one that had the flaw of only coming through on one channel, that was within the playlist of the Platform Sutra of the Sixth Patriarch. And specifically, it was on Chapter 2. And I also noticed the same problem on Chapter 3. So I basically deleted those two videos, and I'm re-reciting Chapters 2 and 3. And I think I'll do Chapter 2 in 2 parts. I don't really regret having to do those over because, frankly, I wasn't that pleased with the audio overall in my recitation of the Platform Sutra. And the Platform Sutra is a wonderful and very important sutra within the Zen tradition and within Mahayana Buddhism generally. It, of course, is the sutra that was talking about the sixth patriarch, Huineng, Chinese Zen patriarch. Briefly, by the way, in terms of Chapter 2, that's the key chapter on prajna, or wisdom. And Chapter 3 is where essentially Huineng is opening himself up to questions from his disciples. And he addresses in that chapter specifically a question about the classical story of Bodhidharma, when he essentially was asked by the emperor whether or not the emperor would receive merit for having built monasteries, trained monks, etc., and done various things to further the propagation of the Dharma. And he also addresses the question of faith in Amitabha, or Amitayus Buddha, the Buddha of infinite light or infinite life, and talks about the question of whether the Pure Land is out yonder in the western part of the universe or in the here and now, in our own experience, in our own being, our own mind. So these are two very important kinds of chapters that you'll shortly see. So now that I'm doing this particular recitation, I'll also mention that my colleague Shaun is finalizing the multi-voice Vimalakirti Sutra chapters. You've seen, I think, chapters 1 through, I believe, 6 so far on those. And of course, on his channel, you can see those and hear them with a background of some music, whereas when I upload them onto my channel, I do them without the music. So that's the difference there, if you're curious as to those differences. But I appreciate what Shaun is doing, what he's continued to do. And beyond that, I think he's planning also to publish with English and Chinese subtitles the various chapters of the Sutra of Complete Enlightenment, which I had recited once, but I re-recited it so as to perhaps get a better quality of audio, although not at the level of my most recent productions, where I've been using a much better microphone, namely the Bluebird mic put out by Blue. So anyhow, those are just some thoughts. Again, my apologies for the variability in the audio, and also, of course, the variability in the video on a lot of the things that I've uploaded. Gosh, I've now uploaded more than 500 videos to YouTube, many of which are actually not videos, but are audio recitations or audio commentaries with various pictures, various photographs of Buddhist content. And I'm real pleased that, there are over 500 people, about 540 now, subscribing to my channel. And of course, many hundreds of views every day and many thousands of minutes of viewing. So I'm pleased with those increases over time, gradually increasing over time. The people that apparently are viewing and appreciating what I'm trying to do here, which is basically to roll the great Dharma wheel in the tradition of many people who have come to appreciate and revere the wonderful Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, and the teachings within Buddhism, particularly the Mahayana kind of tradition, the great vehicle tradition that has the aspiration to carry all beings, all sentient beings, from the shore of suffering to the other shore of nirvana, peace, tranquility, and happiness. Namo Amida Butsu.